So this video is going to cover the installation of the LIFT database. LIFT stands for Latent Information File Tracker. And what we have here is a zip file, which is a compressed file. It has 3 files in it. We're going to double click to open it up. It's a zip file. We see 3 documents here, 3 files. And we're going to go ahead and extract all these files, and we're going to extract them to our desktop. So what we do is we see the path here. We're going to just back this off. So what we have here is the desktop only. You could get to it through the browse. You can click desktop right there and click OK. And we're going to uncheck this, and we're going to extract the files to our desktop. So what we see now is 3 files on our desktop. And the 3 files are the LIFT-BE, which stands for backend. This is where the data is actually held. You will only want 1 copy of this. You're going to put it on the network somewhere where everyone can access it. And then we have 2 other files, the LIFT report and then the LIFT-FE, which stands for front end. The front end is how we're going to view and enter data. So in our hypothetical scenario, we've got the file, we've extracted it to our desktop, and we're going to take the back end, we're going to put it in a location on the network. So I've created this folder called network to simulate a network location, and we're just going to drag and drop that file in there. So we have the remaining 2 files. Like I said earlier, everyone will get a copy of this, but you only have 1 copy of the back end. And so what we're going to do now is simulate accessing the back end from the front end. So we're going to double click on the front end to open it. And what's going to happen is the default settings of Microsoft Access or Microsoft Office in general are going to stop the database from running certain snippets of code. And so what we're going to do is tell it to stop. We'll be left with the license. We're going to close that out. We're going to tell the Microsoft Office that this is a trusted document, so we're going to enable the content. You'll only have to do this once ever. An alternative solution would be to go to your trusted locations from the Microsoft Office, or Microsoft Access rather, options, and we could go to the Trust Center, and we could tell the Trust Center that we would want to make the desktop a trusted location. So we would tell the trusted location locations, the list of locations. We want to add a new location, and then we would browse to our desktop. Just click the desktop, say OK, OK. Now we see here that the desktop is a trusted location. It won't ever ask you to enable content from the desktop again. Your IT department may or may not want you to do this, so check with them before doing that. We can always just enable the specific document as it had asked us to do before. So we're back here. We're just going to enable it for this scenario. Once we have done so, then it's going to ask us to locate the back end. So the front end, I said, is how you use or how you view and enter data. So the front end wants to talk to the back end because it actually needs data to look at. So it's going to ask you, where does the data live? So for our scenario, it's defaulted here, but we're going to go to the desktop. We go to the network folder. You will do the same for the location wherever you put the back end. So if you put it on a network location called / network, then that's where you would go. But you would browse to it through your Windows Explorer. We know ours is here. We double click it. We click Lift Backend, and we click Open. Now you'll only ever have to do this once. If you change the location of the backend, it will know, because when it tries to open, it won't see it and it will ask you to locate it again. So if you ever remove it for whatever reason, it's flexible in that regard, but it won't ask you repeatedly on every application. So we've linked our front end to the back end, and now we're going to go ahead and run the program. This is just the license. It says go ahead and you can use actually any code in here you want. I'm making this open source, and it's covered under a Creative Commons license, which just says go ahead and use it. Just give me the credit for the source code, and you can use it and manipulate it however you want. We click OK, and that gives us the login screen, and the login ID drop-down box will list all the active users. So here we have 3 hypothetical users, and we have some sample data in this database. The stock database will come with just an admin user. The default user password is just password. And when it recognizes that you have just the password entered, the default password that is, it'll ask you to change it. So we enter it, which is password, click OK. It says, please change your password. So here we're going to change it just to passwords. So I'm just going to add an S to the end of it. Click OK. And it says that we've successfully changed the password and it wants us to log in again. So we will now go down to our admin, select passwords, click OK, and now we're at the main menu. And because we have admin privileges, we have access to everything. There's 3 levels of security in here, and it's user, lead, and admin. So if you don't have full admin privileges, these will be blocked out. So we can go into the employees and take a look at our users right now. So we can change, once you log in, you can change the admin to whoever you want to change it to. Whoever is going to be administering this, you can put their name in place of the admin, and then you can give them admin privileges or whatever privileges you would like to assign them. And if you want to reset passwords, you can reset the passwords here. If we look here at John Doe, his password is passwords, and so if I click reset, it'll go back to password. And once we do that, then we can activate and deactivate users here. So if for whatever reason you want to deactivate somebody, you don't delete them, you just deactivate them. So you could reactivate them later if you want, or just leave them in an inactive state. So we have an admin. We're just going to leave it as admin just for the sake of the installation video, and then we're going to go ahead and click exit. So you know that you're successful when you've reached the login screen and you're able to log in using admin as the username and password as the password. And that's going to conclude this video.